Picture a tired town centre, cracked footpaths, play equipment that's falling into ruin, there's no shade, and buses are stopping in strange places where nobody is waiting. Now picture that same street with safe crossings, lots of trees, housing above the shops, people all about, and a bus stop that actually stops where people are living. That shift doesn't happen by accident. It's planning that makes places better on purpose. So does studying planning actually lead to a job? Well, yes. Common roles include town and urban planners, statutory or strategic planners, transport planners, and policy and planning analysts. In Australia, graduates often start in the mid $60,000s to low $80,000 plus superannuation. Mid-career planners are commonly earning somewhere between $95,000 and $130,000, and senior roles go upwards of $130K. And more still for management and executives. Demand is strong across councils, across consultancies, state agencies, and federal government as well, thanks to all of these big challenges that society faces, like housing supply, transport upgrades, climate resilience, and regional growth. Now, for the Australian picture, planning sits where people, place, and policy meet. Priorities right now include building more homes in the right places, creating 20 to 30-minute neighbourhoods, essentially meaning that everything's within striking range of everybody's place, building better public transport, protecting heritage, and helping towns bounce back from floods and fires. That means that as a planner, you've got opportunities not only in the big cities, but also out in the suburbs and in regional Australia as well. So what do planners actually do? They do things like deciding on land use and zoning, deciding what can go where essentially. They do strategic planning, such as setting long-term directions for growth and protection. They do statutory planning. They assess protocols and recommend whether a development should be approved, either yes, no, or yes with conditions. They work on transport and movement. They work on urban design and public space. They work on sustainability and climate. They work on community engagement. And finally, they are also heavily involved in data and mapping, such as using GIS, that's Geographical Information Systems, and evidence, so that the choices aren't based on guesswork. So who is planning for? You might be a planner if you like fixing everyday annoyances, if you see things that aren't right in your suburb that you would like to see fixed. You also might be a good planner if you're good at connecting dots between people, data, and environment. Communication is really important, and planners can be people that can talk to anyone, like residents, engineers, councillors, and developers, because sometimes planners need to talk to all those different stakeholders in the same week. And finally, it might also be for you if you want to work where you can see and design clear processes and get to really concrete outcomes. So if you're going to become a regional or urban planner, what will you actually study at university? Here's a whole bunch of stuff that is covered in most degrees. You cover things like planning, theory, and ethics. You cover different laws and planning systems. You do studios, such as redesigning a precinct or a town and presenting a plan. You do development assessment, urban design principles, transport and land use, GIS and spatial analysis. And then we're also covering subjects like sustainability and climate adaptation, economics of cities and housing, and community engagement. Where can you study it? Well, universities change names and shift different things around from time to time. So for the most up-to-date information, check out the Choosing Your Uni platform. We keep our finger on the pulse of all the changes so that you don't have to. But some of the main places where urban and regional planning are taught are at UNSW, the University of Queensland, RMIT, QUT, Griffith, Curtin, and Adelaide University. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are many other places. Check out the full list at choosingyouruni.com. With all those options, how do you know which is going to be the right degree for you? Well, there are a few things that you should absolutely think about. Firstly, you absolutely must look for the PIA accreditation. That's the Planning Institute of Australia, and the best degrees must be accredited by the PIA. Secondly, you should be thinking about what learning style suits you best. Are you somebody that likes having a hands-on doing studio work, or are you somebody more interested in policy? You should also have a look at what comes up in terms of placements, and if those are important to you, make sure you prioritise those. Of course, when you're choosing any institution and degree, you should think about what kind of lifestyle and location you're going to enjoy, and then also check on the support and pathways that are available for you at particular institutions. So if you want a real say in how Australia grows, whether that's from train lines and town centres to housing and climate resilience, urban and regional planning gives you a seat at that table. You can go to choosingyouruni.com to compare accredited degrees and to have all of your next steps mapped out. Remember, I'm here to guide you, so jump on the platform and let's plan the places that people love to live in.